Liss, and the name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me as we explore places to go and things to do. I'm going to start off by saying Happy New Year. And the reason I'm saying Happy New Year is that the subject of our program is Say Happy New Year, which is at the Westchester County Center on New Year's Eve. And I'm happy to say that my guest today is the creator of the alcohol-free New Year's Eve celebration at the Westchester County Center, the impresario, the man who puts it all together. And say hello to Dave Wasserman. And Dave, I'm so glad you could come here and talk to us at this time of the year about New Year's Eve, about alcohol-free New Year's Eve. And so how did this idea start? Well, what gave you the idea to put on this alcohol-free party every year?
Well, I tell you, it came out of a life experience. I mean, other people are doing alcohol-free stuff for the first night and things of that nature, but a close friend of mine died in a drunk driving accident, and out of that tragedy, which touched a lot of people, I felt like doing something positive, and I have a background in production, so I came up with the concept of Jam and Juice, Jammin, apostrophe juice, and started doing some alcohol-free entertainment events in the city, clubs like the Palladium and the Ritz, and comedy nights, dance clubs, a lot of different things.
How long is it? What year is this for the county center?
This will be our fourth year.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
And
I can't remember this. It goes so fast.
The years go by pretty fast. It's been growing pretty steadily, hasn't it?
It has been. It's a great night of entertainment, and that's where the focus is. Come out and have a great time, dancing, live music. We're not preaching. We're not saying, we're not prohibitionists. We're not anything like that. That's not the message that the county or I want to give. We want to say, hey, come out and have a great time, and try to remember that, you don't have to get, drunk to have a good time, and hopefully you're not going to get behind the wheel of a car,
I like the fact, as I looked over the list of the performers that you have in different parts of the county center, that there's appeal to every age.
Absolutely. That was one of the great designs of the building. It's a multi-site venue, so in the main hall is the Jam and Juice, actually Ocean Spray Jam and Juice Dance Party, and which is, DJ music and lights, and we convert the room into a Manhattan-style nightclub. Then at different sites in the room, there's a jazz room where Mark Morganelli, who is one of Westchester's own impresario jazz trumpeter, has his jazz forum. All Stars will be there. We have an R&B room where a group called Memories plays 50s and 60s R&B music. There's a country and western music, Pat Cannon, Foot and Fiddle Company. I'm trying to remember all of them. And then we have a traditional swing room where Bob Thosen Big Band will be playing. So there's, it's wonderful to be able to go from room to room, and there's a great mixture of ages that experience different styles of music.
So when people come in, they pay a single admission? Is that what it is?
Right, $8 in advance, $10 at the door, which is very reasonable for New Year's Eve.
And what are the hours that it runs?
It starts at 9 o'clock to 1:30.
And you can go from room to room, and so as your spirit moves you, or as your spirits don't move you, actually, you can sample all, or depending on, as you progress, you can progress from one to the other.
Absolutely, and the county does a wonderful job in decorating the county center, and there's food available to purchase. It's really a wonderful time.
So the county is involved to a great extent with this.
It can't be done without the county.
So it's a Westchester County affair?
Absolutely. I came to them at first because I wanted, after doing it in New York City, I wanted to bring it home to Westchester, where I'm born and bred in Westchester. So when I went to the county, this was a good fit in their agenda of trying to educate against drunk driving. So they were very receptive of the idea.
They have a very good Department of Cultural Affairs, don't they? Judy Mattson runs that.
Judy Mattson at the Department of Cultural Affairs, and is a big supporter of this event.
Parks Department.
Parks and Rec Department, and also the Community Mental Health. I mean, without their support, it wouldn't happen. Also, County Executive O'Rourke, his support is, can't work without them.
It's interesting to me also that you have commercial financial sponsor as well. I know Ocean Spray played a big part last year, and
yeah, I'm very happy to say that this year, for the second year in a row, Ocean Spray is sponsor of the Jam and Juice Dance Party, and they have a commitment to supporting events that bring awareness to drunk driving.
You and the members of staff are going to be sporting
absolutely.
Ocean Spray T-shirts.
We'll have their
hats.
T-shirts and hats, and we'll try to get the name out there. Absolutely.
Let's go back a little bit now and talk about some of the music and the appeal and what goes on. Are there trends taking place? Do people want different things? We talk about the big band sound. We talk about the 30s and the 40s. And you take a station like QEW, which is, and it's just celebrating its third year after taking over the WNEW. There's so much appeal for that kind of music, and it's still alive.
Well, it's funny, the event itself, we have, music from the 40s to music of the 90s. In the main hall, you're going to come and dance whether you like to or not because the room is jumping.
This is for dancing, isn't it? Dancing is the theme.
From 40s to 90s style of dancing, from swing to R&B to country, and then our hall is, modern dance music.
Now, you're a musician as well.
That's my background. Since I graduated from college, I've been a musician. What
do you play?
Bass.
You play bass. Will you be playing?
No. I behind the scenes. There's enough to do without having to play also.
And so where do you play, aside from, you're not playing here, but where do you play generally? Is it jazz? Is that your specialty?
I'm involved in commercial work and, corporate clients and private parties. I'm also involved in some original projects. So that's my love. It eventually evolved into event production, which eventually evolved into video production. And then with that background, with my friend dying in this drunk driving accident, it just seemed a natural mix to go and start the Jam and Juice concept. So it's taken on a life of its own. It's been a labor of love, really.
And you mentioned the fact that you have a production company, a video production company.
That's my focus. New View Productions, if I could give them a plug.
By all means.
Our focus is sales and promotion and training videos. That's our focus. And the Jam and Juice thing has evolved into just this New Year's Eve show. This is like my thing to do on New Year's Eve. But my focus is, video production.
Some of the reactions that you had over the years, certainly musicians, different types of music, a lot of dancing, a lot of active dancing. You saw a lot of that. Have there been any changes? You've been doing this now for several years. Have there been changes in what you're saying? Do people want anything different, or is it just play the popular stuff?
Well, people want to have a good time, and I think that's why this event is so attractive to people, is that, we always try to better ourselves every year with the level of entertainment and the, level of excitement, and so we're always keeping it fresh, and I think people appreciate that.
How is there a pattern that you can recommend for people who are coming and celebrating New Year's Eve at the county center, or do you start at one and work your way to the other?
Just jump
what do people do? Just jump on.
Certain people like, if you're just like traditional swing, then I would say go to that room. If you're someone who wants to just see everything, you should really go through all the rooms, because the main hall, they're all decorated wonderfully, and the main hall with our light show and sound and stuff, it's definitely something to see.
When you say light show, what do you mean?
Well, we bring in very high tech computer-controlled lighting systems, so that you just turn that room into a Manhattan disco with lighting effects and sound, and it's a wonderful experience.
One of the nice things about the Westchester County Center, and for those people who don't know it, of course, it's located at the top of Route 100, Central Avenue,
right.
Bronx River Parkway. There's an enormous amount of free parking.
Yes, it's very convenient. It's right. The Bronx River Parkway and 119 and 100. It's those crossroad right there, so it's very convenient to get to.
And there's a huge parking lot right across the Parkway from there, where people can park. And certainly, if you live in Westchester, you don't have to drive very far. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are irresponsible, and is there a message that's delivered aside from the fact that there's no alcohol? I mean, you don't do any don't drink and drive.
I think the message is the event itself. You know, the event itself provides a strong message where people are. You know, you go home after that and you say, "Hey, I had a great time. I didn't feel compelled to drink. I got in my car. I was not impaired, and I got home safely." And the focus is always on having a great time. The entertainment is top-notch. And, again, we're not prohibitionists. That's not the message we're trying to say. We're not against the sale of alcohol or consumption of alcohol. What we're trying to say is be aware that alcohol and driving is a deadly combination. So if that's the message, you know, that we'd like to give forth, but we're not, it's a soft message, you know. The event provides the message.
How young does your audience usually turn out?
It's a wonderful mixture. I would say from 8 to 80. I mean, you see people that
bring the kids.
Absolutely, there's something to do for everybody. I mean,
have you seen a lot of that? Youngsters coming, you say 8 to 80 or 8 to 800, I suppose. but do you see people bringing kids and maybe
absolutely.
even going home early? And
people bring young kids and then dance and they'll have a good time, and then they'll experience different rooms and there's food to purchase. And, you know, certain people go, they know exactly where they want to be. You know, the jazz fans will go to the jazz room and see Mark Morganelli, and you know, the country fans will go to the country room and stay there. And you know, but you see a nice mixture in some of the footage that we've recorded there. It's just wonderful to see people of all ages getting together and in a safe and more, you know, as important as a safe environment, a real exciting environment.
I want to come back and talk to you some more about some of the specific groups that will be there. You mentioned Mark Morganelli, and we can talk about him because he's quite well known in the county. But first, I do want to remind our audience that today we're talking about Say Happy New Year, the celebration of New Year's Eve that takes place at the county center with music of all types for people of all ages. I do want to talk just a bit at this point about some other things that I've attended in recent days that would be of interest. One of them is, we talk about entertainment for the family and for the kids, is the Big Apple Circus, which is now down at Lincoln Center. It's a great show. It's a one-ring circus. So we talk about jazz today. The whole theme of this is jazz of the 20s and 30s, and they play some music, and the acrobats are just amazing. There are some marvelous acts. I certainly tell you, it's a great thing to go to. If you're overwhelmed by big circuses, I think you will know why people have acclaimed the Big Apple Circus. It is great. I also want to comment, a few weeks ago on this program, I interviewed Lawrence Luckinbill, the actor, who was getting ready to do his one-man show on Clarence Darrow for the Law Association of Westchester. That performance, one time, world premiere, written by him, was unbelievable. This man is a terrific actor. I would say that if this show goes on the road, if it goes to Broadway or off-Broadway, you're in for a treat if you see it. Terrific actor, and I'm happy to say that sitting in the same row as I was his wife, Lucy Arnaz, and I'm sure she joined, if not led, the applause for the great performance. One of the interesting things, if you ever see the show, is that he makes his entrance through one of the side doors in the auditorium and works his way up to the stage and leaves the same way, getting back into the character of the older Clarence Darrow with his cane and slouch hat. And he exits through the door at the side of the theater and takes his bows there and comes out there. Doesn't go back on the stage. I thought that breaking down the fourth wall and getting right down there with the audience was really a terrific, great ending to a wonderful performance. I'm looking forward to perhaps seeing it again if he plays it in this area, and I think you'll enjoy it if you see it too. And now I want to come back to Dave Wasserman and talk some more about, say, Happy New Year. And I'm happy that you're here and making me happy and all the other people happy. We're talking about some of the performers, and we were talking about Mark Morganelli, who was jazz musician, trumpet player with his group.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about him and some of the others.
He'll be having his Jazz Forum All-Stars, and Mark has a great jazz series at the Tarrytown Music Center that he puts on. Also, Peggy Stern, her Latin Jazz Quartet, will be playing with them in that room. They'll be switching off. The R&B room will be Memories, will be back again, and they always have a nice a mixture of music from the 50s and 60s. A new addition this year is the Country Room, country music by Pat Cannon, Foot and Fiddle Company. They'll be doing some country music and dancing. Also, Bob Thosen Big Band will be back for the traditional swing music, and then the main stage is the Ocean Spray Jam and Juice Dance Party. Which
how do you put this all together, Dave? It seems like it's an enormous undertaking. When I introduced you, I said the creator and impresario, produced in conjunction, of course, with the county who are producing this. How does it all come together? It seems like such a massive undertaking for a one-night stand.
There are a lot of details, and there are a lot of good people that I work with, especially from the county, who are very supportive, and we get things done. But it's almost like it just comes together to that night. At 9 o'clock, it's done. And
it's selecting the talent. You work with people who you know and you've worked with before. I'm sure. And of course.
Our DJs are Manhattan DJs who worked all over Manhattan, and they're spectacular. We also are having some dancers come out and get the crowd all crazy.
You mean professional dancers?
Yeah.
Who will lead some of the things?
Yeah, they do some party stuff to get people, into the spirit.
So what is the booking process? Does it take a long time to do that? It's a once a year, once a night, one night stand. Is it a complicated process? Some of the theater people have said to me, you have to book real far in advance. I know the comparison is quite different, but opera singers, concert performers, sometimes you have to book 2-3 years in advance. Some of the other people, Martin Gottfried, who I interviewed on this program, who does conversations in the theater, he says some of the theater people say to him, I can't tell you what I'm going to be doing 6 months from now, because he wants it for his program, to printed program. He said, but if you call me and want me to do something next week, then I probably could do that. Of course, that doesn't help selling tickets.
Right.
How far in advance do you have to?
Well, we meet during the year. I meet with Judy Matson, and we strategize and think of ways and different groups that we could bring in to keep it fresh and exciting. So we do meet during the year. It's a process that, it takes a year-long communication as far as suggestions and things that we could do.
And again, you're working from a pool of performers who you know and you've worked with and have had before. Yeah,
recommendations or people that I have worked with, and we sit down and strategize, and we get it done. It's that New Year's Eve night is a long day from loading of equipment, because we bring in massive amount of lighting and sound equipment.
All done in that one day.
All done in that one day. Yeah. A truck and trucks full of stuff to transform that room into a real exciting place to be for New Year's.
And what happens at the stroke of midnight?
We have a crazy confetti cannons and lights, and I have an MC that rings in the New Year, and everybody just...
That's in the main room?
Yeah.
What happens in the other rooms?
Everybody comes down, the focus is in the main room for New Year's, the actual stroke of New Year. And, people just embrace, and, very typical scene for New Year's Eve.
And no drunks?
Yeah, hopefully.
Having done this for several years now, have you had any surprises? Do things happen there that you weren't expecting?
I think the biggest surprise is the mixture of people. Like I said, young and old, and just a lot of real. If you looked across the crowd in the main room, you would just a real nice representation of the county and everybody, So that was a real nice surprise. I thought that maybe, the older folks would stay here and the jazz folks would stay there and the young kids would stay in our thing. But really, there's a nice mixture, and people are just reaching out and having a good time.
When I say surprises, is there anything that sticks in your mind as particularly enjoyable for you or enlightening for you? Or
I tell you, that night is such a blur for me because I'm
Really?
running around, making sure that everything is happening. It's after, a few days after the event that I could sit back and say, that people just appreciate having a safe, exciting place to go to. It's just wonderful community support.
My reaction is that you've had a lot of media coverage on it in the past years, and because of the
Yes.
of the fact that it's centrally located, it's unique, and
Right.
how does this make you feel? Are you off to become an impresario in other venues?
Why not?
Any thoughts in that direction?
Well, every production is a challenge. It presents, things you have to work on for that individual production. This, again, has come out, the great thing for me is that it came out of a personal tragedy for myself and some friends of mine and some associates I work with who knew this gentleman that died in that accident. And that's just a real, wonderful thing that out of that tragedy has brought so many people together in a real positive, environment, a real fun environment. And hopefully they'll get the message that, I didn't need to be drunk to be here, and I don't need to get in my car behind that wheel, impaired, because it's just a deadly combination.
In the theater, one never knows unless you got a smash hit or a big name star that you're going to present something, especially a one-night presentation. A lot of the theaters and performing arts centers in the entire metropolitan area, you never know how big an audience you're going to get. Right. Sometimes you book something and the audience is small, and it's disappointing for the performers as well as the producers. But you have such a record of success, of growing success, starting with 800 people and going up to over 2,000, 2,500 last year.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Great. It makes me feel great, and I think it's an event that people come to expect now. People look forward to it, Oh, yeah, I meet people, oh, yeah, you're involved in that? Oh, great, let's do it, So that's a great feeling to know that people, they mark down on their calendar, they want to be there.
I'm sure there's a question of the capacity of the county center. Is there such a thing as selling out?
Yeah, for the way the room is configured for that night, I'm sure there's a limit, just for safety reasons.
People can actually make reservations by going to the box office, buying tickets at the box office at the county center.
Yeah, it's if you buy your tickets in advance.
And Ticketmaster, you can also buy through Ticketmaster. The telephone number for information, do you remember what it is? It's the county number.
593.
2600?
That's right. Thank you, Norman.
Yeah, that's not your number.
Right, that's the county handles
the
calls.
County's handling all of that.
For information.
It's very important that people do like to make their plans for New Year's Eve in advance, and the cost is so small, really, that it would be wise to make reservations. There is a possibility that by the time people are watching this program, that perhaps there could be some tickets left. On the other hand, there may not be. So get it in as early as you can.
Yeah, people really, go out and get those tickets. They go real quick after, that week before New Year's is when people really go out, because a lot of people really expect to be there.
I have to tell you, the disappointment that I had, I was planning to spend New Year's Eve at the New York Philharmonic, and sent in my reservation and got a telephone call saying that they canceled it. And the reason
now
they canceled,
you could come to Westchester County Center.
Believe me, it's on my list. But what actually happened? That's exactly my point. What actually happened was that they had booked the performers and the musicians, but it turned up that there were conflicts. So the first time they've had to cancel it. Wow. They're doing it the night before, but they cannot do it on New Year's Eve because of commitments, which is a blow for them. So that is the whole point. Is that I've got a place to go to.
Absolutely. You'll have a great time.
It sounds like a terrific opportunity.
Yeah.
So what's the future? Where are you going in the future? More of the same?
Well, I hope to continue to, work on my company's new view and video production and get more into sales and training videos. And, like I said, the Jam and Juice concept and the New Year's Eve, alcohol-free New Year's Eve concept has taken on a life of its own. And, I just try to keep it more and more exciting every year.
And other productions in other places throughout the year, is that in your list of things to do?
Things that not related to Jam and Juice, but I do other productions. But the Jam and Juice thing is really started out, I was doing through the whole year, and then really because of the media focus on drunk driving on New Year's Eve in general, that seemed to be the date to get the most exposure for what we're trying to say.
Well, I think what you're trying to say is very important and very worthwhile, and I hope that everybody comes, and I'm so glad you could come here today.
Thank you.
I've been talking today with Dave Wasserman, who is the creator and impresario of Say Happy New Year at the Westchester County Center on New Year's Eve from 9 o'clock till 1:30 p.m. All sorts of music. Sounds like a lot of fun. I hope to be there. I hope you'll be there too. I'm Norman Liss, and the name of this program is The Way to Go, and until next time, enjoy yourself.